Last year, 11 million gallons of toxic chemicals spilled from the Grupo México Buenavista del Cobre copper mine into the Bacanuchi and Sonora rivers. The spill traveled almost 200 miles and impacted nearly 25,000 people, including Zoila Lopez and her family.
At first, we thought that we were safe because Grupo México brought us water in jugs and trucks. But after consuming that water, we started having health problems. My children started having rashes all over their skin and on their head. They started to lose their hair. My husband and I did too. And we haven't received the care that we asked for. Weeks later, my health got worse. My children are little, and I couldn't get out of bed to cook for them.
Grupo México and authorities said they distributed clean water to families after the spill, but they didn't answer questions about where it came from or how it was tested. They did recognize that Zoila Lopez and her family are among 360 people with health problems tied directly to the river's contamination.
The doctor tells me that my blood test doesn't show high levels of heavy metals, that I'm at the limit, but she's sure that my symptoms are from arsenic.
Grupo México, a global mining conglomerate, failed to immediately notify Mexican authorities about the spill. The government didn't find out until 26 hours later, after the public started to complain.
We acted immediately against the mine. We shut it down. We shut down all the water wells.
Adolfo García Morales, then a Sonora delegate to the Mexico Ministry of the Interior, says the inspectors couldn't anticipate the spill because the company was operating illegally. But watchdog attorney Luis Miguel Cano disagrees.
It wasn't an accident. It wasn't an act from nature. It was an incident that happened in a permissive environment.
Less than 2 months later, the spill was followed by a real natural disaster. Hurricane Odile caused the Sonora River to overflow its banks, inundating the land with toxic water.
When the flood came with the contamination, it was so much that it covered all those lands where my husband had peanuts, green chili peppers, corn, and sorghum. Now he's farming again, but we don't know if he'll be able to sell what he produces because people say the Rio Sonora brand is all contaminated.
The sanctions we imposed over the company are the highest we've ever had in the history of Mexico.
The mine was fined nearly $1.5 million for more than 50 violations, and a separate criminal investigation continues. An agreement was reached with the federal government that compelled Grupo México to create a $150 million trust fund to offset the damage from the spill. Zoila Lopez's husband, Armando Enriquez, received $7,000 of that, but he says his costs are 4 times greater.
It doesn't even cover our expenses. I'm very unhappy with that. They should have paid what was fair, what we were expecting to make.
The government has approved a cleanup plan proposed by the mine, and work's been done up to 30 kilometers from the spill. But Cano, the watchdog attorney, says that only covers land owned by Grupo México. The people affected live much farther away.
The company and the government's promises have only been in their speeches. They promise to restore the area, but they don't have a comprehensive environmental plan for remediation.
We can't say that it's been 100% remediated. The remediation plan is for 5 years. In a great portion of the river, the water doesn't have any problems. This guarantees that the cattle water, the irrigation water, as well as the water for human consumption doesn't have any problems.
Those people who say that everything is going well, they should come and milk a cow every day. They say it's clean. They should come and drink a glass of milk from those cows. We drink it because we have no other choice.
Enriquez's family and others are suing Grupo México and the Mexican government with help from Poder, a community advocacy group.
We're not asking for money. We want to be active participants in the sampling process. We want to see where it's done, from which animal, crop, or water well, and to know which laboratory they'll take it, so we know that it's reliable.
What happened with this spill is a serious violation to human rights. Not only the environment, but health, housing, water, food, integrity, and life.
I inherited these lands from my dad. He taught me how to work here. Just like you see my kids playing over there. That's what we used to do. It's reason like this that it happens in so many places. This is why there's migration to the U.S.
For Armando Enriquez's family, who live more than 100 miles from the mine, it's unclear when the cleanup efforts will reach their land. Despite repeated attempts, Grupo México declined to comment for this story. For the Fronteras Desk, I'm Valeria Fernandez with the Arizona Center for Investigative Reporting.